Okay, hello everyone, welcome back. Let's get reading. My name is Marco and I'm doing a huge purge of my manga. I'm getting rid of over 100 manga and I have 4 bags with me today. This first section I'm going to be giving to my local indie bookstore in exchange for store credit, and the rest are going to be on my Pango Books in case you want them. So the first thing I'm unhauling is A Witch's Love at the End of the World. This was okay. This was like a witchy school focused like girls love manga. I thought it was just okay though. It didn't really piqued my interest and I have no interest in continuing the series, so I'm giving up on this series for now. I ended up reading this, I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was okay, nothing special. Next up, I'm unhauling City Volume 1 by the author of Nichijou. I really enjoyed Nichijou. You will see me unhaul Nichijou later, and that's because I'm just no longer interested in this author. I really enjoyed some of their works, but like some of their stuff is kind of outdated. I just didn't find City to be as fun as Nichijou. It was still a fun time, but I don't really care about continuing the series, and the same goes for Nichijou, so I'll probably talk about that once I get to Nichijou as well. But I am unhauling City Volume 1. Next, we have Daytime Shooting Star Volume 1. I'm unhauling this because there was like a student-teacher relationship that was very inappropriate. Like, I think there's supposed to be a love triangle between the main character, one of her friends, and the teacher, and that makes me really weirded out, and I was just not interested in continuing this after that. It was weird, and I don't plan on reading it anymore. Next up, we have Fuku Fuku Kitten Tales. This was a pretty alright manga. This is by the same author of Cheese Sweet Home, who I really enjoy. The reason I'm unhauling this is because I decided to continue this from my library, and I did finish the series from my library, and I don't want to continue it physically, so I'm gonna get rid of this volume for now. Next up, we have Horimiya Volumes 1, 2, and 5. This is a slice of life romance that I think is pretty alright. The reason I'm unhauling it is just because I don't plan on continuing this series. I think it's an alright series, and I watched the anime of it and enjoyed the anime, so if I really just want to continue the series again, I can just watch the anime. I thought it was pretty okay. Next up, we have Play It Cool Guys. This is a slice of life manga about guys being awkward. I thought it was pretty alright as well. I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't anything special. It didn't really pique my interest. I thought it was cool. It was nice and fun, but I don't plan on continuing it. Next up, I have Honda-kun Volume 1. This I ended up watching the anime of, and I just decided that I'm cool with just watching the anime. I don't need the manga either. I was thinking about continuing the manga, but like it seems like it ends at the same place as the anime, so I'm not sure if I want to read the manga all the way through if it just ends where the anime ends. So yeah, I thought this was pretty alright. I enjoyed the anime, but I don't need to continue it physically. Next up, I have Blue Exorcist Volume 1. I actually enjoyed this first volume. I thought it was pretty good, and I was gonna continue it, but the next few volumes I got from my library, and it had a bunch of fan service, and I was just no longer interested in it because of that. I'm not into fan service, y'all. I can't do it. So I ended up not reading this all the way through because of that. Next up, we have Honey Lemon Soda Volume 1. This was alright. It was another shoujo romance that I thought was just okay, and that's why I'm not going to continue it. I thought it was just okay. It very much reminded me of Kimi ni Todoke, but I liked Kimi ni Todoke more, and I just was not interested in reading this series either. Next up, we have Love Me Not Volumes 1 and 3. The reason I ended up DNFing this is because they had an incest plotline at the end of Volume 1, and I just was not interested in reading that, you know? I don't want to read about that, y'all. Next up, we have our Not So Lonely Planet Travel Guide Volume 1. I thought this was pretty good. I just have no interest in continuing it physically. Maybe I'll read it from my library. I'm not sure yet. Honestly, I'm not really in the mood to read this from my library. I'm just not really interested, even though I did like the first volume and I gave it 4 stars. I'm just not really interested in the series and continuing it. Maybe one day I'll get it from my library, but for now, I think it's gonna be a no. And then we have Kiss and White Lily for My Dearest Girl Volume 1. I thought this was pretty okay. The one thing I will say is it felt a bit rushed. I feel like there was so much going on with the relationships, and they were constantly trying to push new relationships onto us that I wish we just had more time to focus on the main 2. I still wasn't even the biggest fan of the main romance, and I just didn't really care for the characters at all. And I gave this 3 stars. I thought it was just okay, and I'm not going to continue it. And then next up, we have Imekoi Volumes 1 to 3, 6, and 8. I ended up DNFing this series. I thought Volume 1 was just okay. It seemed like a nice slice of life romance. But then I got to Volume 2 where there was like a siscon plotline where basically the sister comes in and it's like, he's mine. I don't know why you want him. He's mine. He's mine. He's mine. And it was weird and gross. So I couldn't finish the series. I was like, no, I'm not reading this. I'm DNFing this series as well, which sucks because I had 5 volumes of it, but it's whatever. At least I know now not to read it. Anyways, that's the books I'm going to give to my local indie bookstore. Next up is the books I'm going to sell on Pango Books. Okay, the next thing I'm unhauling is Demon Slayer volumes 1 through 23. I am finally glad I got around to this series. However, I don't think it's something that I want to reread. I think it's an alright series. I ended up enjoying it, but it is very much a generic kind of shonen. And I didn't really love it. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it enough to think that I want to reread it at some point. So that's why I'm unhauling it. It's a solid 3.5 star series. I'm just no longer interested in reading this again after I've already read it once. So yeah, I have a lot of volumes of this. It was an alright series. I liked the ending for the most part. I'm also getting rid of A Lily Blooms in Another World. This is a light novel that I thought was alright, but after looking back on it, it does have some elements that are not good. It has a lolly character, which was really weird, but it wasn't that good either way. It was just alright at best, but with the lolly character thing and that weird plot line, it made it kind of worse, and I'm just not interested in reading this anymore. I'm getting rid of this for sure. Next up, we have Dreaming Sun volumes 1 and 2. I actually liked the first volume. I thought it was pretty alright, but then the second volume didn't hit for me as well. There was nothing extremely bad about it. It was just an okay series, and I wasn't interested in continuing it anymore. Next up, we have Become You Volume 1, which is by the same author of Dreaming Sun. I actually enjoyed Become You. I just ended up not becoming interested in continuing the series. Next up, we have A Girl's Love. I Married My Best Friend to Shut My Parents Up. This was a 3-star book. I thought it was just okay. However, looking back on it, the love interest is a bit pushy and is a bit weird at times. So it is kind of weird. It's kind of strange, but the romance was alright. Basically follows this main character who just gets married to get her parents to shut up about her getting married. Next up, we have The Case Study of Vanitas volumes 1 through 8. I would sell volume 9, but it's damaged, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. This is a vampire historical fiction fantasy series, and I thought it was pretty good. I just don't want to continue it physically. I'm going to continue it from my library. In fact, I already read volume 10 from my library, and I'm waiting for volume 11 to get into my library so I can read volume 11 from my library. But yeah, it was a good series. I just don't plan on continuing it physically at all. Next up, I have Soul Eater The Perfect Editions volume 1 through 9. I ended up really enjoying the anime of this, so I really want to read the manga because I heard the manga has a different ending from the anime, but the manga has so much fan service and it's so bad that I just no longer can justify reading this series. So I'm getting rid of these volumes, which sucks because I was collecting the hardcover editions, but hey, it's whatever, it's fine. At least I don't have to collect the rest of the series. Alright, next up we have Still Sick volume 1. This is a Girls Love manga. I thought it was an alright romance. The thing is the love interest is very mean to the main character, and that just does not interest me. I don't like mean love interests, so I ended up not liking this. Next up, we have A Man and His Cat volume 1 and 2. The reason I ended up giving up on this series is because the cat talks in this series, and I love animal manga, but I hate animals that talk. We get a lot of the inner thoughts of the cat, and I'm just not interested in reading that. It's so annoying. That's why I ended up not reading the rest of the series. Speaking of cat manga, I have Sue and Tai-chan volume 1. I really like this series. However, the reason I ended up not reading the rest of it physically is because I decided to read it from my library, and I did end up finishing the series from my library, and I enjoyed it, but I don't need to keep this volume 1 that I have, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Next up, I have Nichijou volumes 1 through 11. The reason I'm getting rid of this is because even though I did like it originally, I was rereading it and there was a comment, a homophobic comment in it, which kind of pained me off, but then I read volume 11, and volume 11 was so unfunny. I didn't get it. I don't know what's funny about it, that I just no longer want to continue this series. It was an alright series, but I'm not going to continue it, and I don't need to reread it. I don't think so. If I want to consume this media again, I would just watch the anime because the anime has the best scenes. The manga sometimes has some scenes that aren't as good, and the animation makes it look way better. This is one of those manga where the anime really improves the manga, so I would just rewatch the anime if I really want to consume this again. Next up, we have I Hear the Sunspot volumes 1 through 6. This is a boys love manga about main character who's in college and another main character who is hard of hearing and is going deaf. I thought this was an alright romance. I enjoyed the beginning of it. However, I kind of realized that this series is a bit over dramatic at times. It got annoying for me. I swear at every volume there's at least one scene where they're arguing or yelling at each other, something, and it just started to annoy me. Overall, it's an alright series. I think it's pretty good, and I do recommend the beginning of it, at least volume 1. I think volume 1 is very good. Next up, I have Prince Freya volumes 1 through 6. I ended up enjoying the beginning of this, however, there were a few problems. So basically, we follow this main character who pretends to be a prince who died. She pretends to be this prince that's technically dead, but she's pretending like the prince is still alive. And we follow like a bunch of characters hiding the fact that she's actually a girl. And there was one character who felt kind of like who was in love with the prince when he was still alive. However, we learn in a bonus chapter that the person was like very much an adult when he fell in love with the prince, and the prince was very much a child. And that is weird. That is gross. I don't want to read that. So it was weird. It was weird, and especially considering the fact that it was a man who was in love with the prince, it felt kind of homophobic as well. So, you know, it was weird all over, and I don't want to read this anymore, so I'm getting rid of it. Next up, I have Syrup Volume 1 and 2. This is a girls' love anthology that I tried to read and was really excited to read, but then it got really weird. So in the first volume, there's this like incest porn plotline where basically one character is like an adult film star and she has to record an incest video, and it was very weird and it was very gross, and I just did not want to read this series after that. I'm pretty sure there are also some weird stuff in the other volumes, so I'm just not going to read this one anymore. Next up, we have The Heroic Legend of Arslan Volumes 1 and 2. This was pretty good. I just didn't feel like reading it anymore, but it also just didn't pique my interest enough for me to continue reading it, so I ended up not finishing this series. So next up, we have Eclair, which is a girls' love anthology manga. I was also really excited to read one of these. However, my friend read it before me and was like, girl, you do not want to read this. It's weird. There are a bunch of age gaps and it's very weird. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to read this because I trust your opinion. And if you say it's weird, then I'm not gonna read it. I trust it. This is the only manga that I haven't like attempted to read or read through, so I can't tell you exactly how I feel about this manga because I haven't read it. So yeah. Next up, I have Kaiju number 8 Relax. This is a like side story Kaiju number 8 series where like we get a bunch of the characters relaxing basically during their off time. I was kind of excited to read this. However, the jokes didn't land, and like the main characters felt different. Like they felt off character, and I can't really explain how. They just felt kind of off. So I wasn't enjoying it, and I was like, I don't want to read this anymore. So I ended up DNFing it, which is really disappointing because I really want to like this series. So yeah. Next up, have With the Dog and Cat Every Day is Fun. This is a slice of life, like kind of non-fiction comedy about this owner who owns a cat and a dog. I thought it was okay, but like it's very much fitting into cat and dog stereotypes, and I just didn't really care for it. I thought it was just okay. Didn't really pique my interest at all. I thought it was a 3-star series, and I don't care for continuing it. Next up, we have Yoshi no Zuikaro, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is by the same author as Honda-kun. I just read part way through this manga and it lost my interest. I got kind of bored. Next up, I have Souls at Work Black and Souls at Work Baby. I've been reading Souls at Work and I enjoyed it, the original one. However, I don't think I'm interested in continuing the entire like spin-off series, so I think I'm gonna get rid of these 4 volumes I have of the spin-offs. Next up, I have The Way of the House Husbands Volume 1 through 5 and Volume 7. This is a slice of life like comedy series about this guy who used to be a Yakuza but is now a house husband. I thought it was pretty alright. I enjoyed these volumes. However, it got very repetitive and I got kind of tired of reading it. Like if I read it like back to back, I would get really sick of it. So this is one of those series where you need to read it every once in a while, but like also I don't plan on continuing it because of that. So I ended up not being really interested in this one. Next up, I have The Ice Guy and Cool Girl Volumes 1 through 5. This is a romance that has a slight fantasy twist. I watched the anime and enjoyed it. However, I don't need to continue this physically. I ended up continuing it from my library, in fact, so I don't need to continue owning these volumes. And then this is the last manga I'm unhauling. I'm unhauling What Did You Eat Yesterday Volumes 1 through 5. This is a slice of life BL romance that has a cooking element. I just can't find myself believing in their romance. I felt like both of the main characters are kind of bad people and I didn't like them and they were annoying. So I ended up not really finishing this series, which sucks because I really want to enjoy it and I just couldn't enjoy it. It was not fun. But anyways, that's everything for now. I'm unhauling over 100 volumes. I'm glad I'm unhauling over 100 volumes. I feel like this was very necessary because I need to purge my manga collection so that way I could buy new manga. Anyways, that's everything for now. I will see you guys next time.